Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session on share market. What I'm going to do is I am going to talk about candlestick pattern and what is happening on a daily basis for one particular stock. I have selected Ethos Limited. It is a premium uh, stock which trades or into premium watches. So it started in 2022, 30 May. And let me read through the chart and what is happening on a daily basis and the why of certain moves or from where the price has been reacting. So it started or it opened at 825. That's the first candle that I can see on 30 May 2022. And what is happening after that, let's discuss. So after 825, the price went down. There would be traders, since there is no data history, still in this candle when the price closed at around 803, there would be few traders who would have bought it at the closing price, seeing that the price has gone down and it based on that. And after that, the second candle is closing at 805.7. That target would have been ideally at 823 or maybe, and the second target of 840. So based on that, since both targets were not met and the close was at around 805.7, still in profit, I think complete exit would have been better because we don't have much to uh, like see here. So the trader might have exited completely, or the other ways that to trail. So there are other types of traders who would have trailed it at the lowest point. So the low mean 101.1. If that breaches, then a negative view on downtrend. Plus the overall returns were not that good. Like entry at 803 and exit at 805.7. So hardly 2 rupees. So not that good in terms of returns, so shows a negative trend for short term. And till the time there's a good returns, I don't think the traders would be interested here to buy. So the other candle is this green candle which shows a positive return. I can see that there at the closing price of 746, if someone buys and sees that the return is around uh, the closing price, that is 770, which is 35 rupees. So that's 5% overall returns, showing that there is a positive trend that can come up now. And my and there would be a lot of traders who would have trailed and exited here at this point, which is around 768, which is the same price. So ideally, the traders who lost their delivery at this opening price of 733 would wait for their entry at 733. But what has happened here is it never got to this point. Let's see what would have been our new entry. And after this candle, there would be again, there was a gap down which I can see at like it closed in the previous candle at 784.6, and then it opened at around 761, which is around 23 points down. So around 3% down. Few of the traders that gap down, they do buy directly, and they like there are traders who wait for gap down entries, which is what here happened. And the moment it was gap down, it there were traders who entered the stock and gave a good closing of around 788.65. Ideally, the target was already met here at the high point of the previous candle, which is around 799 or 800, which is here. And there are some traders who would trail this particular thing for the target, and they would have exited it around 788 rupees. So both are good strategies. There is no right or wrong here. We are going to discuss more about why and hows of it. So if you see the trailing stop loss would have been at 788, which in this red candle they exited. New entry instead of now 733, I would have thought about a new entry which is at around 761. So am I getting it in this candle? Not really. In this candle also I'm not getting it, but in this candle, in this particular red candle, I got the entry at 761. Although it closed at around 759.3, ideally I would have waited for a few days and see what's happening, and it goes up. My first target would have been at around 7 810 rupees, which is this candle, and the second one is on trailing basis, which I think I would have exited around 790s in this red candle. Again, my new entry would have been at around 763.25. Am I getting it here? Not really, not really, not really, not really. But what's happening here is, after this red candle, there's a green candle. There's a gap down and a green candle, which means that this might become a new entry point for few traders who lost their delivery, and that is 773.1. So 773.1, am I getting it in the next candle? Yes, I got it. I'll wait for a couple of days, and my first target would have been at around this high, which is this red candle. So this high is around 798 rupees, which is, I think, in this red candle you got it. There are some traders who would have planned or sold it here and then again bought it in intraday itself, since the demand zone is quite near, like 773.5 is quite near to 771. So just for 2 points, they may have not taken that risk of losing their delivery. So 773.1 is quite near, and the low was 773.5 and closing is 777.7. So I think here they would have waited and not like gave up their delivery, or even if they gave up their delivery here, they would have entered back at around 773.1, which is this particular opening. Let's see if we got the entry in this particular candle. We got the entry at around 770.75, which is our entry would have been at 771.2, 773.1, which we got it here. And our first target would have been this, which is 796. Second target would have been 823. Then third target is 840. So the candle is closing nearby to 840, and it is closing at 845.25. So there are some traders who would re-enter and next day, um, at a red candle, which seems, because this also seems to be a breakout at 842. So you could either say that my new entry is around opening price of the previous green candle, which is around 777.75. But since the overall move shows a like a closing above 840, it is also a breakout. So anything below 840, if the price is closing, there are traders who would not risk their delivery and enter, uh, or their position re-enter again anything below 840, which seems like this closing price of 824.8 was uh, where they would have re-entered, and the price is going up. Now there is no target, or there could be one target of around 874, which is the high point of this particular big green candle. 874 being one target, and other, or everything else seems to be like a trailing thing. Now whenever there's a big green candle, there seems to be like a big risk of losing that particular overall move. So there could be another target here, or at this closing price of around 976, few traders would have exited some position and re-entered again at a red candle, which seems like around 954. And again, there are trailing traders who would have trailed, like higher risk traders, or you can say traders who don't want to lose the entire big move, and they trail at the lower point. So the low point being 937, here 940, and 9:45 plus. There are traders who would have kept some, like this is also another big move. So if you look at it, so there are some traders who have taken like 5% or 8% um, target from the previous highs, and they would have exited here. They re-entered here, and there are trailing traders who were still in the trade. Finally, the trailing traders would have exited around 976 rupees, which is a pretty decent move here in terms of if you look at the overall move. So, and if you look at the trailing ones, there was one point, this point, which seems like 893, where the traders would have lost their um, delivery. So if you look at the low point of this red candle, which is 890, and the opening price of 901.75, and when the uh, when you look at the low point, it is lower than the previous low, right? 890 versus 890.3. Oh no, so I think the trailing stop loss was not hit in this candle, and the first time it got hit was this particular level. So the new entry would still be here, which is around low point of this candle 979.25. Here in this candle you lost the delivery, and you would want to re-enter um, either here or the entire move. If you look at it, maybe here, this seems to be a big move, so we'll have to wait. But some traders would have re-entered at this point of 979 if they, because it they lost their delivery, and they were not expecting that. So, and after 2 3 days of waiting, you got an entry in this particular candle. It is hitting the demand zone, and once again, if you wait for a couple of days also and again trail, your first target being around 1024, second target of 1077, and the trailing ones would trail till this point and exit at 1082. So this way, the trailing traders would exit here at 1080s, and there are some traders would have exited at this point, 1024, and the actual re-entry position seems to be at this point of opening price of this candle, which is 1013.75. So ideally one should wait till 1013.75, and there are some traders who may have re-entered at this position, but not a confident move. So this particular candle, if you see, uh, there seems to be like a re-entry point in this candle, but the other move or the other entry would be at this level, which is where a lot of traders would have re-entered, and you will see that price has been in the sideways move, and for a very long time seems to be in this range. This is a range bound move, you can see. Why and hows of further candles we can always see. So how to navigate the uptrend, how to navigate the downtrend, we can always like, if you want, if you really like this study purpose video, then we will further like touch upon how do we navigate and why certain moves are happening, or from which point the price will react. So let me know your views, and also um, like, do like and subscribe my channel for more such videos. Thank you so much.